I'll never think of the number 11 the same ever again. Hi everyone, let's talk about Stranger Things. Now, in case you don't know, Stranger Things is a new series on Netflix. It takes place in Hawkins, Indiana in 1983. It tells the story of a boy who goes missing and the search led by his mom, the police chief, and his friends in order to find him. And in the process, encountering creepy supernatural forces. But mostly what you need to know about this show is that it's freaking fantastic. Like literally, it's in my top 5 of this year. For sure. That's how good it is. One of the best shows of this year. Just watch it. The feel of it. I mean, if you're a fan of the 80s when it comes to shows or movies, this you're gonna love. It's just kind of an homage or a love letter to the 80s. And the performances are amazing. I mean, just watch it if you haven't yet. Watch it. Now, here is your spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the show and you don't want to know what happens, stop watching now because I will be delving into details of the story. So stop now and then come back once you watch the show. Go watch it now because it's amazing. So, Stranger Things. Can we take a second to freak out about how amazing this is? I know everybody's been talking about it. Once you watch it, you understand why people love it so much. You're like, yep. I mean, they're not exaggerating. This show is freaking amazing. I think for me, right from the opening, you get that sense of oh. With the opening titles, the music, it just puts you right into those 80s type movies. I mean, for me, the movie it reminded me of the most is E.T. and E.T. is one of my favorite movies ever. And so it was so much fun to see them pay homage to the film. For example, 11 watching the TV when Mike and everyone is out of the house and kind of discovering what's going on. And then of course the bikes, the riding of the bikes. I mean, the ending of E.T., I'll admit, I just tear up every time I see it. It just gets me every time. So just seeing them, the friends on their bikes with 11 on, I guess she's not in the front because she's bigger than E.T. was in the movie, but she's sitting in the back. It's kind of I just want to hug Stranger Things. If I could, I would hug it. But fundamentally, the reason why we really love it is because they actually crafted a good story. Every single episode for me was amazing from beginning to end. I never thought, this episode wasn't that great. No, it just kind of all fits really well together. Also, maybe the fact that it was only 8 episodes really helped them focus and deliver the best episode that they could every single time, which I think is great. And I want to share some of my favorite moments. The first one, I guess, is not technically a moment. It's just the fact that Will has some really good friends. Can we just acknowledge that his friends are badass? Everyone should have friends like this that just will try to find you no matter what. And they're gonna battle a demon, really, or some supernatural creature, and they're screw it, he's our friend, we're gonna do whatever it takes. I'm I love you guys. Can we all have friends like this? It's amazing. Of course, 11 is just adorable and amazing, and I particularly love the way they introduce her in the diner. The Christmas lights, so brilliant. I think it also gave the show something visually interesting to look at for us, because you also get to design this house with all these Christmas lights, but us as the audience were oh no, it totally makes sense because he can communicate that way, but it also makes it look really pretty because you have all these different colors in the house. I think if you add another layer to it, for characters who have any interaction with Joyce, it makes her look just crazy enough. I mean, we know she's not crazy, but she seems just irrational enough that it's she's probably crazy. And then you see the lights and you're yeah, she's definitely crazy. But we're no, I want to have Christmas lights on around my house now. Just in case. Steve, who started out such a douche, but then became one of the best characters when he goes to Jonathan's house to apologize or to kind of make up for what he did. And then he finds Nancy and Jonathan in the middle of what looks like some crazy stuff. What is going on? What are you guys doing? But I just love that when he sees a Demogorgon, at first he runs away, but then, he just takes a moment. It's all right, there's a crazy demon looking thing. That's cool. I'm going to go back and help you guys. And you have to respect him for this. And I think that's the point where you start liking him a little more. I mean, you already started liking him when he stood up to his friends, but this kind of seals the deal where you're all right, you're cool. And then, of course, we get 11 actually killing the Demogorgon. And I kept thinking, don't you do this to me, Stranger Things. Don't you kill her. Damn it. Although technically, we didn't see her body. I mean, she just kind of disappeared, so I don't think she's really dead, and I definitely think she's coming back for season 2. I mean, come on, she's like the best character. They can't kill her off, so, you know, she's somewhere. And maybe season 2 will be all about trying to find her or get her back. Finally, I also really love the way they tied up most of the storylines, but kind of left the door a little bit open when they're like, hey, Will's back. Or is he? Blech. Throw up a slug. You thought he was out. Will is back, but you don't really know what's going on with him, which I'm like, well played, Stranger Things, well played. So those were my favorite moments. I want to also talk about performances because they were all pretty fantastic. I particularly love the fact that pretty much all of the cast, except for Winona Ryder and David Harbour, are newcomers, or at least I didn't know any of them, which I think is brilliant. I love it when it's a fresh cast, fresh faces. It's not like, oh look, Ben Affleck in another movie trying to find his son. Not that I actually love Ben Affleck. I don't know why I said Ben Affleck, but you know, when you know an actor and when you've seen them in a lot of things, I think sometimes it feels different than watching actors that you've never seen before, because I feel a part of you still thinks, oh, it's this actor playing this part. Whereas if you don't know them, then it's easier to really be immersed in the show. Of course, I love watching shows and movies where I know some of the actors, but I also enjoy sometimes watching shows and movies where I don't know anyone. And I think in this case, it worked perfectly. I mean, overall, I think I've said amazing a million times in this review, but yeah, an amazing show. I love it. It reminded me of why I love TV so much, and I'm so excited to see season 2. Those were my thoughts, but of course I would love to hear your thoughts. Did you love Stranger Things as much as I did? What were some of your favorite moments? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe because we'll have more TV reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye! Can I also give a shout out to them playing Dungeons & Dragons? Because I started playing about like 3 years ago and I love it so much. I was watching and I'm like, I totally understand what's happening here, and I love that they're playing Dungeons & Dragons because it's such an amazing game and it's just so much fun. And I love that Dungeons & Dragons is the reason why they figured out what was going on in the first place. I mean, I feel like we should all be playing Dungeons & Dragons, you know? Just saying.